coming from. So a
Wow.
lot of it is buried in that area.
Mm.
And then the last quadrant is feeling of unworthy, undeserving, rigid beliefs, and conflicting beliefs. So a feeling of unworthy, undeserving, it pretty much when the child is very small and it's given to someone else to raise, nanny, grandparents, that starts, the child does not understand that the parents have to go work and that the parents have to immigrate to another country. The child is beyond the child's comprehension. So what happens then, child takes on itself and feels that I'm unworthy, there is something wrong with me, that they don't want me. So that turns into being totally opposite in life, where we do and strive for the best always, and we want to prove that we are good enough. So look at what I can do, look what I can do next, I'm going to do this business, I'm going to do this. And that turns in many successful people that do achieve great things in life. The beginning of this is separation from a parent or caregiver in the early childhood, but it's totally opposite. It's like, I'm going to do all these things and I can do this and I can do that. So we become very, very driven to achieve, and at the same time we don't pay attention to other areas of our life. And then what happens often is people take all their efforts to make all their money throughout the life, and then at the end of the life they take all their money and want to buy their health back because they had no time to pay attention to their health. So it's it totally takes off. And then rigid beliefs is just the old school education. That's how it is, not open to any new possibilities. And conflicting beliefs, it's generated many times from a head trauma or maybe difficulties at birth. So if I record someone's voice and they talk about someone and that zone comes up, you could tell there was some problem with physical injury or head trauma or difficulties at birth that, those years nobody talked about. So you don't really know where it's coming from. One side of the brain says, yes, you can achieve this. And the other side of the brain saying, we're not going there. And then person is like trying to achieve, but there is something subconsciously that is holding them. That's where it's coming from. So that's a short description. So the last quadrant pretty much creates a trust issue. So the trust issue is, show me what you can do before I can trust you. So that law of attraction then brings on other things to it. Like you meet the girl, or the girl meets the person, the guy that, whatever, the partners that they can trust. So why can I trust them? And then they say, you can't trust anybody in this world. Yes, you can. There's so many people. Other people don't have that issue. So why is it, it's your point of view, your perception. So that's how it works. Very interesting. It's a very short time to describe, but it's just to
Amazing.
get an idea.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you did an amazing job. That's when we speak about 90%, and you just went through all these different zones that this program really covers. It's huge, Oksana. Really huge.
It is, yes. It's amazing. It
Go ahead,
changes lives
Kimberly.
of
Have a
people.
question.
Oksana, I wanted to reflect because the first time that I had like a working understanding that emotions connected, say, to cancer was when I tuned into an online forum, The Cure for Cause, which a lot of people now know about, with my girlfriend who came down with breast cancer. They brought out the whole thing about repressed emotions or things that happened years ago that were traumatic, and then how they work in the body. And then since my work with food and Chinese medicine and energy, so it's just amazing. So our listeners are getting a taste of how all of this really can reflect and does reflect on their health and their relationships and everything. Do you have any examples that you can share with them about how this
Absolutely.
has kind of helped
So,
the healing process?
right. So example is, you could say, I'm just working with a client now out of California. As a child, she was raised by grandparents in the village because the parents were working in the city. So then she moved to the parents. She really, like, there was something that she was so worried at that childhood that they're not going to bring her back together with the parents. And then when she moved back, she went to school, and in that school she was never good enough. It was hard for her to understand the homework, and she never had help by the parents. So it's like now she's over 55, but in her, that inner child literally screamed for help all their life, and now she is with with not good physical disease that is the root of it is now she's yelling for help, and that's exactly how she yelled for help when she was a child. So that energetic footprint was set in this child um, then. So releasing patterns like that, the person feels that there is actually a help. I'm open to receive this help. It's going to come. It balances out these emotions, and it's not as traumatic on the body as it was. Another example I can tell you about how the grandmother could be married and have a person that, let's say, was drinking, and then the daughter gets married and has a husband that also was drinking, and now granddaughter doesn't like to see, because her example was drinking grandfather and drinking father, so she doesn't want anything to do with these guys and with the men like that. So she decides, I'm just not going to get married. This is not what I want. And that is also perception. Why is that person reaching out to cover these emotions? Because really on the inside, there is something that is trying to come out. It's, things happen for a reason. So by releasing the parents, the grandparents' patterns, the person looks at the life differently and is open to a different relationships, and cannot
Right.
even
And
vibrationally attach some
That's
attract a person like
that's
that.
really amazing that this is really what you're referring to as transgenerational perception, and that we don't really even know who's really driving the bus, but basically, right?
Yes, because as a child, by the age of 6, the kids don't actually understand the words that were spoken as a child. You feel the emotion of the person. So
Uh,
the nicest thing is the software works. You don't even have to say anything. You can just think. The importance is, what do you think? What do you
mhm.
say? When I have kids saying, my grandmother made the best chicken noodle soup, or she made this and that, the anger, the fear, the suppressed emotion that comes with that describing of the meal is amazing. And actually, the software works with a bush Australian flower essences and Bach flower essences, and then by these flower essences, you can tell what the person was. So a lot of different karmic connection, different feelings there are healed by this work. It just opens up the whole world. The person becomes new me, like new you, after releasing family patterns, and then anything you want to do is pretty much very easy work. So you do this once in a lifetime. um, some people, like I did twice on myself, but because each time you're at the different level, you touch a different layer, and
Well,
things open up.
this is really amazing, Oksana. We could go on forever because I know I've been sending clients to you because to get to those emotions, we just want them out of the way. So this is great. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, and we have to close the show at this moment. But before we go, let us know how people can reach you. You have a website. Please let us know that.
I do. So the easiest probably is my phone number. I want to speak with a person and hear their voice. I'm all about old-fashioned talking to someone. So my cell phone number is 973-449-3398. And my website is www.giftofhealthfl for Florida.com. So you could
And you
either
have a book that you
call,
have,
fax.
right?
Yes, I have a book. Yes, The 5 Necessities of Well-Balanced Life, because it's all about having balance in every area. It's, when we were born a boy or a girl, and the whole idea is to become the best version of ourselves. And at the end of our lives, we just look at every area of our lives and we want to be balanced and happy in each area, because the biggest gift you can ever give to your family, kids, friends, or parents is to be healthy, live longer, and be a balanced person and become the best version of yourself. So,
Oh, thank you so very, very much, Oksana. This has been very rich for us. Really
thank you so
appreciate
much. I appreciate you and your invitation, and looking forward to do more of the work in the area. Thank you.
Thank you, Oksana. Thanks for tuning into our show on societybitesradio.com. Don't worry if you've missed a show. You can find them all on our website at SarasotaHolisticChamberofCommerce.com.